Hello again. I just thought I'd share a little bit more work that I've been doing on the Triumph Thunderbird 1600. In one of my previous videos I stated that I'd got a leaking oil seal on the left hand side fork leg, so I stripped them out and I've got them all stripped down now. When I drained the oil off this leg, it was disgraceful. Yeah, it was very emulsified, so obviously it had some water in there and desperately needed doing. So I've got them stripped down. These are the component parts of the forks here. So you've got obviously the what I would call the slider, the fork leg or stanchion, spring, spacer. The bottom section, this goes inside of the fork leg, so I guess this is more like a rebound spring when it comes back up, to stop the leg banging. And then all the you've got your top cap, the washer that goes under the top cap onto the spacer, dust cap, ring that sits on top of the oil seal, and then the top bushing. The bottom bushing is actually on the fork leg itself, and then the chrome shroud. So one of the issues that I've never been particularly happy with since I've owned the bike is the fact that with the shroud on the fork leg, there is no drainage facility. So when you wash the bike, or if it stands out in the rain, when you set off again on your next trip, all of a sudden you've got all this water bubbling back out of the top of the fork leg, which I find quite irritating on a nice clean bike. So I had to think about it, and what I've decided to do is I've just on the back side of the machine, of the leg, I've just machined a small slot. It's not that easy to see, is it? Yeah, I've just relieved this piece here on the top of the fork leg. I'll try and show you how I've done that if we go into the other room. So what I've done, it's not going to be that easy to see. I've set it up on the mill, and what I went in with first was a 5mm slot drill, and took the 5mm slot drill down to the edge of where the chrome trim sits, took it down the depth of the chamfer on the fork leg, and then with a 3mm ball nose cutter, I've just relieved this small section on the bottom side of the fork of the slider. Now, if I'm honest with you, I'm not quite sure whether a 3mm cutter was big enough. I suppose I can always start small and get bigger, but we'll have to see whether that actually works. If not, there's nothing to stop me getting either a 4 or a 5mm. I didn't want a 4 or a 5mm cutter. I didn't really want to go too far with it, but we'll see. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to polish this out a little bit now, take the sharp edges away from it, and then I'll just give it a coat of varnish just to try and stop any corrosion occurring there, and then I'm going to get them put back together, and hopefully we're about done then. So it was fairly straightforward, one of the easier jobs that I've done on the bike. It all came to pieces quite nicely. You need a 12mm Allen key, a large one, to get into here, to get the bolt out. One of the things I have made, and I've done this before, but I make this this tool here, which is the diameter of the fork leg just slightly over, and then I slot it and obviously put the clamp, which is great because you can put the fork leg in here, clamp it in the vise. You've got no worries about damaging the fork leg or anything like that. You can get the top nut undone, you can get the bottom nut undone, and I just find it a great way of just holding the fork leg whilst you're working on the forks, whether you're filling them up, stripping them down, whatever you're doing. So there we go. I just thought I'd share that with you. I'll probably just put one together when I've got them all back together, just to let you see how it's all gone back on the bike. But cheerio for now.